And for everybody who can hear my voice, if you could, head over to the little chat window and just type in something to say that you can hear what we're saying, and that way we'll know that everything is going good. Oh, actually, good morning, everybody. And hopefully everybody can hear me. If you can hear me, just put a little heck yeah in the chat box so that we know that you can hear what we're saying here. And we'll start in just a couple moments. So hope everybody's doing well on this Friday morning. Looking forward to a good weekend of video marketing. Heck, let's not do it over the weekend. Take the weekend off. That's what I say. All right, it looks like people can hear us, so it's good to see. Yes, all right, all those yeses are starting to flow in here. And Joe, just so you know, and I don't know if you've done Webinar Jam or used Hangouts a lot, but typically what's going to happen here is as we're doing this, our voices are probably about 15 seconds ahead of what they're hearing.
Okay.
We ask a question, there'll often be like a little bit of a delay. So
like watching Godzilla, right, back in the day.
Exactly. So just before we get started with this today, just a little bit of housekeeping. Feel free to ask any questions you'd like in the chat box, and I'll try to monitor that and get some answers for you. And we'll probably throw up some polls and some other things. And we've got some good little gifts we're going to give out at some point during the webinar as well. We've got a couple of things. And so with that said, it's now 9:02. Hopefully everybody has jumped in here. And again, I just want to introduce Joe Justin, who is the creator of a product called Offline Resurrection. He's an offline marketer. And Joe, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody, let them know exactly who you are and why they should be listening to you on a Friday morning.
Okay, my name is Joe Justin, as Ray said, and I've been doing SEO since probably 2007. I built up a very good income, a very good business up prior to the Penguin coming along, primarily targeting attorneys. I was a programmer before that. I really like the SEO bit because it doesn't take as much. There's not as much frustration, believe it or not. What happened is I lost my entire business when Penguin came because when you deal with attorneys, if you're not in the top 3, maybe the top 5, you're toast. They have no loyalty. They'll just throw you under the bus and they're gone. So when Penguin came along in a month and a half, I lost about 150 clients. For a whole year, I did not do any marketing because I like to sleep at night. I couldn't confidently rank sites anymore, and I didn't know what to do. So what I did is I followed every course that the so-called gurus had out there and how to rank now after Penguin. None of it worked. So I discovered video, and so now I discovered you could rank video on the first page of Google, not just on the first page of Google, but in the top 3 consistently. So that's where we are today. I've created this product. I've been doing this for about 10 months. And when I first started with video, when I started using the tool of our choice, I had 0 receivables in July of 2013. October 1st, 2013, my receivables was over $10,000. Just offering video SEO to attorneys because that's what I primarily targeted. And so then, of course, after I saw that, I said, hey, man, I want to get this out so that everyone can do this because there's so many people out there selling courses that I call our dream breakers. They just want to get your money. I want to be a dream maker, and that's why I'm here today. I can't hear you. I can't hear. Oh.
I unhit the mute button there. Sorry about that. I'm sitting here yapping away, and I hit the mute button in case I cough. No, I love hearing that because that's exactly what I do. I rank videos on page 1 for local businesses, and I was telling everybody yesterday that what happened was I tried a new piece of software the other day that helps to find leads, and I have all these videos that are on page 1 for attorneys throughout the state here. And I used this software to find a bunch of attorneys. I emailed them out and sold all of them about 2 hours later.
Yeah, it's great.
It was pretty exciting. I was like, all right, this is the perfect day to be talking about offline because I'm excited about it.
Yeah. So in attorneys, they're real grateful, man. If you get something up there and they see that you're on the first page of Google, they want to be the first one to buy from you as well. It's really good.
Beautiful. Yeah, and honestly, our largest client base is attorneys. We work a lot with bankruptcy attorneys, and we're starting to really, basically, because of the videos I was talking about a minute ago, we're going to be working with DUI lawyers now a lot as well, because that's what we played around with, and we've got a whole bunch of DUI videos that are ranked throughout the state, and so we'll be doing a lot more with DUI as well, so it'll be exciting.
Yes, it is. That's what my primary target, actually, DUI lawyers.
I'm not surprised. That's, DUI lawyers are kind of like the chiropractors of the lawyer world. They're the ones who spend the money, and they're easier to work with. So it's
right.
A good field.
So you want to go ahead and start
Absolutely. Let's get this rolling.
Let's go ahead and start up the presentation that I have for you guys today. Today we're going to show you talk a little bit about offline resurrection and how I built, or how you can build your offline business starting today. If you get offline resurrection, you can learn everything from A to Z, how to build your offline business. It's pretty simple. And I got a question, and I'll just put it out there. You guys can read all this. The biggest problem for most folks when we're starting our offline business is what niche do we select? The other things are how do you get clients? How much are you going to charge these clients? How are you going to collect payments? And what services do you sell to them, and what services do you actually offer? And I'm going to try to answer all these questions in this presentation today. The first thing we're going to talk about is how to pick your niche. And then we're going to talk about how to get clients calling you, how to close deals, when to upsell these deals, and how to get your client on the first page of Google. Okay? So the first thing you want to do is you want to know how to pick your niche. When you're looking for a niche,
and Joe, I don't know if you realize that the presentation isn't on the screen yet.
Oh, it's not? Oh,
no.
Let me go ahead. So thank you very much. Let me go ahead and start over. I can do screen share.
And while you're doing that, we actually already have questions that are popping up here. DUI, somebody asked, it is driving under the influence. So basically, drunk drivers. A lot of lawyers, that's obviously a big issue. So there's a lot of lawyers that are doing that work with people that are caught drinking while driving, and so that's what the DUI lawyers handle. And Scott has a great question here, and of course the presentation's up, but I'll throw this out there anyway before I lose it later. He wants to know, how you can compete with somebody like these lawyers who are spending so much online, and of course that's exactly what we're going to show you. Essentially, that's what this entire presentation is really about, is beating those guys who are spending $30, $40 a click, or spending $2,000 a month to be in the A spot of the maps, and how we're going to just beat them anyway.
That's correct. That's what offline resurrection is. I'm going to show you that today. So I'll just go ahead and start over. We're going to show you how to build your offline business today. When you get offline resurrection, we're going to show you from A to Z how to build your offline business. This is like a business in a box, only on steroids, I would like to say. And we went over the biggest problems for most folks, and that is, what niche do you get? How do you get clients? Getting your clients is like the hardest thing for everyone. I mean, if you want to rank a website, or you want to rank a video, if you have someone paying you enough money, you can go hire someone, but the hardest thing really is getting the clients. Okay? Yep. So we're going to go over that today. The next slide, we're going to show you how to pick a niche today, or things you should consider, how to get clients calling you. In the offline resurrection, we'll show you how to close deals, when to upsell, and how to get your client on the first page of Google. We're going to do that one especially for Scott.
Nice.
Okay, so what you want to do is you want to pick one niche. Okay, I see people out there all the time in our Facebook groups, even some of my beta testers that use my software. They immediately started doing shotgunning, doing all these different niches. My philosophy is you pick one niche. You want to make sure that your niche should be able to pay at least $300 plus a month. Now you can go down a little lower, $250, $200. That's okay, but I just like to use $300 as my price point. I do have clients that pay me less than that. I have one that paid me for 3 years now, $100 a month. For 3 years, but when I send the invoice to this person, they pay me within hours. So I'm not going to complain about that, but we'll get into that later. You want to stick to your one niche, and you want to dominate it. When you do that, what's going to happen is you're going to learn the hot buttons in your specific niche or your industry, and you're not just going to learn the hot buttons for your industry. Once you get to know everything, you just talking to the potential client on the telephone or by email, you're going to know how he talks and what hot buttons to give him to make him buy. Okay? So you want to stick to the one niche. You don't, and another thing, you don't have to sell your services in just your area. I can't tell you how many times I've received emails saying, "Oh, well, I can't use your software because, you know, I only got 5 people in my town." Well, I'm here to tell you this is 2014, and you can go, if you live in the United States, you can go. You got a big country you can go and sell this to. I only met one of my clients of all my clients that I have right now, because he happens to be an hour away from me, and he wanted to meet me because he's paying me. You know, he's in like 10 different cities and a bunch of different practices. So when you go ahead,
Joe, we're still seeing slide 1. I don't know if it's a buffering issue or if but we're all still seeing just that front page slide. I'm getting a lot of messages about it. So.
Okay. Are you seeing it? Are you seeing it, Ray?
Yeah, I'm seeing slide 1. I just get a lot of messages going, "Oh, we're still on slide 1. All we're seeing is slide 1."
All right.
I can see your mouse moving, so I think it's just a matter of clicking on the other slide there. We still got you?
Yeah.
There he is. There's Joe.
There's me. I'm gonna go back to screen share.
I think it's just you just have to click on the second slide because I think it's just sitting there on. I can see your mouse moving. There you go.
Can you see that now?
Yep, sure can.
Okay, now if I click here, can you see the next one?
Not yet. We're still seeing slide 2.
You can only see the slide 2 still?
So we're still seeing number 2.
How about now? Can you see it?
Yep, now we can see it.
Okay, so I can't go into full screen mode. That's the problem. Okay, no problem.
Huh. Oh, you know what it is? You can when you screen share, you have to choose the full screen mode.
Well, I can do it like this. There's no issue.
Yeah, that's fine. That'll work.
Okay, so we're on how to pick your niche, right? So I'll do the slide over, okay?
You bet.
All right. So you want to pick one niche, and the reason why you pick one niche is so you can get to know the industry lingo. You want to be able to dominate that niche. You want to learn the hot buttons of your niche, so you can tell people, like for attorneys, for instance, some of the things you want to tell them is, we can get you in the top 3. We can get you for 24, keyword phrases. Oh, really? What kind of keyword phrases? And when you start talking about like DUI lawyer in or best DUI lawyer in the specific city, they kind of know what you're talking about, because a lot of people don't know about those type of keywords. So these are the kind of hot buttons you start to learn when you're in your industry. The other thing I talked about is you want your niche to be able to afford $300 plus a month, but you can't go down to like $200. That's a good too. I mean, if you have 10 clients at $200 a month, that's $2,000 a month. And once you stay in your one niche, you can dominate. As you go across the country, you can dominate. And what that does for you is it gives you proof in all these different areas. So when you get someone on the telephone, you can say, "Oh yeah, check this out. You in front? Are you in front of your computer? Go to Google. Type this in this area. Type this in over here." You have all these different examples and proof. So it kind of breaks down the barriers that one might have to buy from you. Okay, we're gonna in Offline Resurrection, we're gonna show you how to collect payments. Okay, you can collect payments via PayPal, a merchant account. Let me ask you something. How many people know you can accept checks by fax? Is there a lot of people out there that know you could do that? Did you know you could do that, Ray? You're on mute.
Yeah.
Did you know you could take checks by fax?
Nope, I had no clue. I've never done that before.
We have a source. It's basically a desktop software, and they can fax you a check today. You print the check out based on all the information that you just copy the check into the software, take it to your bank. It clears the next day. That's better than a merchant account.
Wow.
And it's safer. You know what? You're not going to get no disputes on a check by fax. That's for sure. So these are the kind of things we're going to teach you. We're going to teach you about the business. Ranking the Googles is fine, and I want to make sure that everyone understands this is not just another rank a video course. This is how to build a business and how to run your business so that you can be successful at getting a recurring income. Okay? So one of the ways that we get our clients is through email blasts. A lot of people say, I'm sure everyone's read it, email doesn't work. Well, I'm here to tell you it does work. and we'll show you how to do that. It works great. When you use emails in the way that I show you how in the course, your potential clients, by the time they're calling you, they're pre-sold already. They've already seen some examples that you have. It makes it for an easy close, and we're going to show you step by step how to do this. And it's so easy, but the hardest part of this in getting your clients using email blasts is actually listening to what we teach. One of our beta testers, on our sales page, he gives us a testimonial. And in there, he says, admits to himself, admits to everybody, he got my software, and he's a really smart guy. He's a really smart guy. And what he did is he took my stuff saying, oh, this is too simple. I'm going to put my own twist to it, and I'm going to go ahead and email it. Well, you know what happened when he did that? He was unsuccessful. He had to go back to what I showed him because it's so simple that people just think, oh, this is never going to work, but it does. So I challenge everyone who purchases this course for 60 days, just do as we teach and watch what happens.
Nice.
So we're also going to show you how to establish your email list and where to get them. Okay? We have tools for that. We're going to show you all the tools that we use to do this. We're going to show you how to set up your emails and how to set them up step by step for your email blasts. We're going to give you an email template. We're going to show you how to respond to emails, okay? Because there's a certain technique that you want to do when you're doing these email blasts. I mean, like I said before, it's 2014. We're in a microwave society right now. And so if you go ahead and you start sending out emails to everyone, and you do like a lot of people tell you, you send basically what people are showing us is how to do a direct mail piece and put it in an email, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs, your emails aren't going to be read. So we want to keep everything short and sweet, and we're going to show you how to do that. Emails work great, I'm telling you right now. Any questions yet?
Yeah, well, we do, and actually this is one from JC is asking, and I'll let you throw out the answer to this, but if you have one niche, then how do all of your clients rank on page 1? There are only a limited number of page 1s.
Sure. So what you do is, and this is a great way to sell your services too, as I said before, you don't just sell in your hometown. You sell across a whole area. So let's say we're in the United States. You tell each client you give them exclusive rights is what you do. So if I have a roofer in Fort Lauderdale, I'm saying, hey, listen, I'm only going to work with you. You're my only client in Fort Lauderdale. Okay, so then when I go to Miami, I tell them the same thing. Hey, you're my only roofer in Miami, so you have to be exclusive. You don't want to take on multiple clients for that exact reason. But at the same time, it also helps you. Let's say I'm at Fort Lauderdale, and I get a call from someone, that's in the Fort Lauderdale area. Maybe it's not Fort Lauderdale, maybe it's one of them little cities. I'm going to call my client in Fort Lauderdale and say, hey, dude, I got a phone call from someone who wants plantation, you're exclusive in Fort Lauderdale, but you're about to lose plantation. You want it? So you can upsell your guy. Nice. He already trusts you. So it's another technique of getting people to come on board with you.
And that's exactly what I did with that story I told earlier. Is I have, for instance, in my area here, I've got Far West DUI lawyer and Syracuse DUI lawyer and Kaysville DUI lawyer. So all these different cities. So it's the city and then the niche.
Right. Or the niche in the city. You can do both ways.
Absolutely.
Right? Yes. Okay. So what I'm going to show you now is a series of emails and how this works. Okay. So what I did my email blast, and this gentleman, I'm covering up all the stuff that I need to. But this gentleman, this was his response to my email. I'm interested. You can read that, Ray?
A little tough to read that.
Okay, it says, I'm interested depending on price. Sincerely, his name. So my response was, down here it says, we'll optimize up to 5 videos for X amount a month per city per practice. If you'd like to discuss the details or go forward, feel free to call me anytime at this. This is just a simple response. I'm not going into any detail. I'm giving him exactly what he wants. So his response is up here, and he says, I'm interested, but I don't have any videos other than some interviews that he has. Well, and that was kind of like the end of our conversation as far as this email goes. I've never spoken to this gentleman. It's been all emails, and he's since added two more cities. He's added 2 more cities all via email. So what happened was I used some PLR videos that I have, and that's another thing that we're going to show you in the course. We show you our sources where we get PLR videos, where we get presentation videos made, all that stuff we're going to show you. But what I did is I just put the PLR videos, put his company information as a slider in the front and a slider in the back, and send it to him, and he liked it. So if you look, the date here is September 10th. The next slide shows my payment received on September 12th. All in email. It's not hard. I didn't have to go out and see anybody. I didn't have to go meet him. He doesn't know what I look like. I know what he looks like because I see him on the videos. But this is how simple it is, using email to get clients.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
We do have somebody's asking, and I think this is a pretty good question for nowadays. Is Mike wants to know: are you ranking videos or Hangouts?
No. I'm ranking videos.
And my response is that either one will work fine, but you can rank
Absolutely, and I have a couple clients that have Hangouts that they wanted me to rank, and I have ranked them. I mean, it's all the same. When you use our tool, you can rank. If it's video, you can rank them. Okay, but these are all just YouTube videos, and I think doing the videos, it's a little bit simpler because I think sometimes Hangouts can give you a backache, if you will. They can be difficult at times. But the videos, you just upload them to YouTube. You optimize your YouTube channel. And we show you how to do all that in the course as well. I have any more questions?
No, I think you can head on down the road now.
All right, I got one more email I want to show you guys. I sent out another one of my email blasts. Now this is September 25th, 2013. But here this email right here, I sent out my email blast. The gentleman called me up on the 25th. He asked me what I could do. I showed him examples and everything, which we show in the course. And so what this email is right here, this is from my competitor who just got done making his YouTube channel. He was unhappy with them. They've been trying to get videos to rank, and they couldn't. So they made this new channel. So this is the 25th that the competitor sent to him. I talked to him on the 26th, and he sent me their email so I could download it. So I could download it from their YouTube channel, which we show you how to do. You can actually download, very easily download YouTube videos from a previous channel, create a custom channel, upload it, and it usually works better that way. At least I've found anyway. So that's on the 25th. On the 26th, I told them, please find the agreement, please sign and date it, and get back to me. Again, just short, sweet emails.
Yeah, and going back to my story, that all I did was literally send out an email to a handful of lawyers in the area, and within a couple of hours, I immediately got an email back, and the guy called me that afternoon, and by the end of that call, he was ready to take all of them, and he wants me to do more videos for him and go for a couple other cities down closer to him as well. And so it was very simple. I mean, literally, it closed in a 5-minute conversation, and that was it.
Yeah, and you know what helps us with this too, Ray, is that we have proof. Ranking websites right now, you got to tell the person it's going to take 6 months, maybe longer, because and we got to game Google. We're fighting Google every step of the way. YouTube videos, we can put them up on a channel. If you do it correctly, you can rank. I had one video in Brooklyn. I ranked it in 4 days. For Brooklyn, that's a competitive market. It doesn't happen all the time, but normally it takes 3 weeks. I tell the clients, hey, look, it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks before we see something. Then when I rank in 3 weeks, I look like a hero.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you this: when you're talking about all this stuff, are you essentially ranking these videos first?
No, I don't. I have other videos now that I have clients. I use my other clients' videos and show them examples, because here's the thing: when you're trying to sell this stuff, Ray, no matter how smart the guy is you're sending it to, or how great of an email you think you sent, if you try to sell them an email, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to work, because they're not going to understand what you're talking about, because any kind of niche that's got people like us calling them, they've been burned so many times by the pay-per-click stuff. You're going to need to talk to them, take them to Google, show them exactly what you did for someone else, and then they go, oh, you can do that? Great, how much? I mean, that's what you got to do. Serious. So this is where I sent the guy agreement. Now, when you're doing email, you sometimes you get impatient. You send it and you wait a couple hours. You don't get received payment or nothing. So what I did with this guy is I have a gentle way of doing it. The next email that I sent to him, still on the 26th, I'd say, hey, just making sure you received everything. If you have not, please let me know. I'm looking forward to help you dominate your market. Right? And that was at 3:51. At 4:01, he says, okay, we'll send it over soon. So we're still on the same date. All emails, it only takes a few seconds to do. And then here's my payment at 6/22 the same day. I'm going to tell you what, this works. And this is just email. There's other ways we can do this. You can do cold calling. I happen to hate cold calling, but cold calling works if you know how to do it. And we can provide people scripts for that. We have scripts for cold calling. I just, like I said, I hate cold calling. I like emails because it's so simple. Any questions?
Okay, actually, Brett has a question here. He wants to know if it takes 4 to 6 weeks to see results sometimes, how do you charge them monthly at that point if after the first month it hasn't hit page 1 yet?
Well, when I first start out, what I tell people is what you want to try to do is you want to try to get 2 or 3 months up front. I tell the people, hey, it's going to take 4 to 6 weeks to see results. Normally it doesn't. Normally it's like 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks, but I'll say It's 4 to 6 weeks. Listen, we're the only company out there that doesn't charge a setup fee. So what we'll do is we'll make a 3-month agreement with you, and you can pay the 3 months today, and we'll get started on your project right away. If after 3 months you don't see anything, hey, we just part as friends, no problem. But we don't charge a setup fee. Other companies may charge a setup fee that costs more than our 3 months. So, fair enough, let's do this deal. And that's how I do it. And you know what? Sometimes they'll pay the 3 months up front. Sometimes say, well, you said 4 to 6 weeks. How about I pay 2 months? Sold right there, man. You just close.
Nice. And then Ken wants to know if you're using a landlord or a client model, and I'm assuming what he means by that is, are you leasing out this video, and if somebody doesn't pay, then you give it to somebody else, or are you just is this literally their video and that's it?
Well, what I do for attorneys, sometimes it's hard to do with attorneys. Some of the attorneys, the attorneys are like the most educated consumer, so it's hard to do that with attorneys. Most of the time, they'll tell you it's against the law and all this crap. But I just let the attorneys have theirs. I have some clients where I do lease it out for them, and I have what I do in all my agreements, and I do give you an agreement in the course as well. But in my agreement, I always tell people, in order for you to cancel, you have to give me a 30-day notice. So, sometimes they want to cancel. They give me a 30-day notice, no problem. And then we part as friends. But I don't give them the login and the passwords to their channels until they pay me the last payment. So, you're kind of a sticky situation with attorneys, but you know what? They're great clients in like any industry that you're in, any niche that you're in. If you can perform, it's not really an issue most of the time. You're gonna get your morons that once you get them up there, they think they're gonna stay up there for 6 months, so they cancel. But you know what? I've had people that do that, even attorneys. I have one right now that just came back. They cancel, they go down, or they get sold by another company because there's a lot of good salesmen out there. But you know what? People can't. When you use how we show you how to do this, and you use the tool that we're gonna show you, you basically don't handle competition. There really isn't. You just do what it does, and it's going to rank. You perform, the people are going to love you, and they're going to keep paying you.
Well, I agree. And just so everybody knows, we're talking about how it could take the 4 to 6 weeks or something like that. That's usually for good-sized cities. Honestly, with the ones that I was talking about earlier, some of those ranked within an hour. So very quick.
Yeah. Yeah, and the 4 to 6 weeks, I remember I said I tell all my clients that just so I can look good. Under promise, over delivers was my philosophy.
Sure.
So and that's why I do that. Any more questions?
Let's see. We got a few here. Sorry, I was answering a few of them, but all right. Let's see. Ooh, they're starting to come in here. All right. Well, people are making fun of Webinar Jam because of buffering, but that's not Webinar Jam's fault. That's Google.
That's Hangouts.
Yeah. If there's a buffering issue, that's Google. The Hangouts seem to be having an issue today, so I apologize to everybody that's having an issue with that. There will be a replay right afterwards as well. Okay, so do you control the channel or give them to the customer, which we just talked about? Yeah, you keep control of that. So some people are saying, I'm not having any issues. Well, good. That's awesome. All right. Let's see. Keith says anybody can pay for advertising, but not everyone can pay a percentage of revenue. That's absolutely true, especially if you're dealing with lawyers. There are, as you mentioned a little bit earlier, there are laws regarding some of that. For instance, I believe they can pay per lead, but they can't pay per client. So in other words, if you give them 70 leads, you can charge them per 70 leads, but if they sign up 30 clients, they cannot pay you just for the 30 clients. That's against the law in most places.
Right.
Kind of a goofy law, but you know.
Right. That's because you're not an attorney.
Absolutely.
If serious, I have some attorneys, personal injury attorneys. They say, "Hey, can you do bankruptcy? What you do bankruptcy? No, but I have a friend that does it, and I can get paid. I can get referrals. So if you can give me some leads, I can make some more money." I mean, it's crazy, but they're attorneys. They can do that.
Right. Yep. And then Scott wants to know what kind of videos are you typically doing? Are these like spokesperson style, talking head animations, or is it something else?
Well, I use talking heads. I call it a presenter video, and I have a source that I use. It's very inexpensive to get them made, and you can get an actor. It looks just like a commercial when it comes out, and I charge my clients anywhere between $500 and $700, and it costs about $150 to get them made. I just make the client write the script, and it works great. I just send it out. It usually comes back in 3 to 5 days, and all of my clients love it. I've used it for laser spa removal. I've used it for attorneys. I've used it for plumbers. It's a great source.
Yeah, and we've and that's typically what we do as well as the talking head stuff, and we do it with all those same types of clients as well.
Yeah, and you know what I found, Ray? You can get these awesome talking head videos and stuff like that, but and mostly all of these niches that we're talking about that we're going to be doing for offline, most people don't even watch the videos. I mean, I keep going back to we're in a microwave society. They go, emergency plumber, Fort Lauderdale. They see a phone number, they call it. If you got a good thumbnail sticking out there that says 20% off or something, they're going to call that number. They ain't going to watch the video. Same with attorneys.
Yep, I was actually talking to somebody yesterday about that exact issue. That most of the time the video's there, it's got a nice thumbnail, it draws the eye. They never watch the video, they just immediately pick up the phone and call, which is why I always tell people, make a thumbnail that has a phone number in it. Put the phone number in the title as well. That way it's on page 1. You've got a coupon, you've got a phone number, and they can just jump right in there.
Exactly.
So that's good. All right, so Scott says that they're jumping in too quick here. Lawyers in Florida can pay for advertising or pay per lead, but not share in revenue. Yes, and that's the case in most states, I believe. Revenue share they cannot do in most states. And a couple people have asked if they can see examples at some point. So if we want to show, and I can actually, if you want to keep your presentation up, I can pull some examples up on my end and then switch over if you'd like, if that makes sense.
That's fine, and I got screenshots coming up in a little bit.
Oh, do you? Okay, good.
Yeah, and I know the way that we all are offliners. They're going to see my screenshot, and everyone's going to go to Google and make sure that I'm not bluffing them. So
that's the first thing I usually do. So
me too. And I just did it yesterday, so everything should still be in place. So you want me to go ahead and proceed now?
Absolutely, and just to throw one thing out there, Mark is actually an attorney. And or he runs a law firm. I don't know if he's actually an attorney. It doesn't say. But he says there are a lot of restrictions in most states, so be sure to check with the attorneys and to find out exactly what's legal. So make sure you do that.
I primarily go off the monthly model. I charge a monthly fee. So
yeah, and that's typically what we do as well. It's just a lot easier, to be honest.
It's easier, and you know what? That's what they're used to. So why not? I don't like to go against the flow in any way, shape, or form. Do a monthly thing, I know what I'm going to get every single month.
Yep, and Charles throws out there that it's the same for financial advisors, and yeah, especially you get financial advisors that are part of like a large group across the country. They are very restricted on what they can and can't do. If they're totally private, sometimes they can get away with a little more, but some of them, I've worked with some that they couldn't do video at all. They were not allowed to talk on video. So there's definitely a lot of that, and real estate, there are some restrictions as well.
Right.
Brings up, although real estate typically is a little bit easier, which is good.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead, proceed.
Okay. So in Offline Resurrection, we're going to show you. I mean, as you can hear Ray and I talking, we both know what we're talking about. We can sell, and you know what my philosophy is this. A lot of us doing this offline stuff. A lot of us are nerds, and we've never been taught how to sell. Well, if you get our course, we're going to show you how to sell. We're going to change your mentality. We're going to show you how to close deals, and we're going to I can't tell you how many times I've talked to people and coaching people, just being friends with, because, you know, we all have friends out there in the internet world, and we talk all the time. And I talk to people and they say, oh, yeah, I just sent out a proposal to someone. Really? Well, when did you send it out to him? 3 days ago. You send up, what happens if he accepts it? Well, then I got to send a contract to him. I'm like, what are you talking about? No, that's not how you do it. So we're going to show you how to have the one call close mentality. And it's not a bad thing. Listen, if you got someone there and you're going to give someone exclusive rights to your area, you got to make sure that, you know, you're confident in what you can do, and you're going to tell them, hey, listen, I'm going to send you on agreement right now. When can I call you back so we can just, you know, wrap this up? So we're going to show you how to do all this. We're going to change your mentality of a one call close, and we're going to also change your mentality when you're trying to sell, because I see in these Skype groups and the Facebook groups, we're all there. We see people saying, oh, this guy, he insulted me. He wanted to only pay me $500 a month for this. And I'm like, really? Give me his name and number. I'll take that on any day, because they're really bluffing you. They're saying they're going to get $1,500, $2,000 a month. You know what? Those are good. But you know what? If you get them, those are great. But if I have 10 $500 months, one guy cancels, I'm golden. I just lost $500. But if you got one client and he's paying you, you know, $2,000 a month, he's got 3 areas, that's $6,000 a month, and he cancels, you just lost $6,000. So right. The best thing about having a whale is he pays you a lot of money in one shot. The worst thing about having a whale is when he cancels, you lost a whole bunch of money in one shot. So we're going to try to change your mentality to say, hey, if someone's ready to write a check for me today, you got to evaluate that. Don't say no right away. If it's $200, then say, hey, I tell you what, $200 a month. If you pay me today for 3 months, we got a deal. So there's different ways around that, and then you get your 3 months up front. Maybe you sell them for a whole year in advance. Give it, you know, like I show. If someone wants to pay me a year in advance, I'll only charge them for 9 months. I get a lot of takers on that, and you can increase your income rapidly like that. So at least your monthly income if they pay up front. So you got to look at these kind of things, and we're going to show you that in the course.
Cool. And then we do have a couple little questions here that I want to throw out there. Herman wants to know, he says, do you create videos for towns or cities that don't show high search counts? So in other words, like, you know, I mentioned I did 10 of them. A couple of those are in towns that are pretty small, or at least one of them is a very small town. But what I found is there were people paying for ads there. And I figure if somebody's throwing money at ads, then they must be getting something back. You know, and I know Google likes to say, oh, yeah, there's not enough search here. But to be perfectly honest, I don't trust them most of the time. Just because they want you to, you know, their goal is to get you to go to something bigger and pay more money. But, you know, I'd like to get your opinion on that.
Yeah, I feel the same way you do. I don't ever trust Google. You know what? Everyone always asks me these questions about, well, what's a monthly search? I don't know. I don't ever look that up. You know what? I send out my emails and the people call me. If it's a small city and a person say, hey, listen, I only got a population, I'm not going to get that many calls. Hey, I'll lower my fees. But you know what? This dude's calling me. He's ready to pay. He's ready to pay me. Little town, just because it's a little town, if it's an attorney, if it's a plumber, if it's an AC, you know, repair, they all need business. And there's people live in these small towns. So
absolutely.
Maybe you don't charge as much, maybe you lower your fees, but you got to negotiate that with that person. And you know what? When you're dominating your niche, when you're sticking to the one niche, like I said in the beginning, you're going to know these things based on talking to this person. You know what I mean? If you're in AC repair, you're going to know whether or not the guy's really bluffing you. Well, sometimes they're really good, but you're going to know, you know, what kind of business they get and how much money they make on each client. It doesn't matter if it's small or large. It's just, like I said, sometimes the smaller cities, you just do less. But I don't do videos beforehand. Now, I have in the past, and that's another thing that we're going to talk about later, Ray. And we've actually found a way to get rid of excess inventory, if you will. Like when you build all your videos that you have and you have no buyers for them. Well, there's ways of getting rid of those. You know, if you're getting calls, you can sell those calls somewhere else.
Well, and what I've typically done when it comes to those small cities is, you know, think of it this way: when you're talking about a small city, yeah, you may not be able to charge $300 or $500 a month. But also, it's very easy to rank there. So you don't have to put much effort. I mean, literally, for the really small cities, I might only do $99 a month. But you think about it, it took me 5 minutes of work to get there. So I'm going to make $99 a month for 5 minutes of work.
Right.
That's beautiful. I have no problem with that at all.
And you know what else I do, Ray, in these smaller towns to help make it sound like a better deal? Like you said, you'll do $99 for one city. I say, hey man, what other cities you got around there? And next thing you know, you have like 5 of these little towns all in one area. And you say, okay, I'll do 99 for this one, and for all the rest, I'll do 99 more.
There you go.
$200. Now you got
what I did.
Yeah, so you still get the money, and like you said, it takes 5 minutes to get them ranked.
All right, and let's see here. We've got Keith's got a good one here. He says if they do Valpak in that area, I guess he's trying to say that's a good sign that there's people willing to advertise for that location if they're willing to pay for a Valpak.
Right.
Or unless he's saying that's a good source of leads, which is another issue. I think that might be where he's going with that. In other words, if a business is in Valpak, then clearly they want to pay money to get into that area.
Right. So if you can get a hold of Valpak in that area, you can see what businesses are there, and you can call them up if you like the cold call.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing. I hate cold call, but we've actually got a girl that's what she does. She'll go out and she'll do cold calling, and she does a very good job of it. So that takes that right off the plate.
Oh yeah, it works. Cold calling works if you can do it.
She's in Vegas, so she's out in Vegas making cold calls for us locally here. So
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Anyway, and you know what? Anyone can set that up as well, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Do you want me to proceed?
Yes, go for it.
Okay, so we're going to show you how to upsell. Upsell is one of the biggest things, at least for me, and it's worked so great, especially when you say, oh, it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks. Next thing you know, it takes 2 weeks, it takes 3 weeks. I'm calling a guy up right away saying, hey, look at this. They get all excited. Yeah, hey, remember we talked about this, that, and the other city? Let's do it now, man. We got momentum going. Let's do this. So you upsell your clients. So we're going to show you how to do that. We're going to show you the timing. It's so much easier to sell your clients if they're already, sell more services to your current client than to the new ones. Okay? We're going to tell you when it's best to do that. And listen, just by doing upsells, as long as you're prospecting all the time and you're always getting new clients, you can increase your monthly income so easily just by upselling every single month. We're going to show you also how to set up your business using Twilio phone numbers. We use right now we just have one plugin that we use because it's a more affordable one. We also recommend another one called Analytic Call Tracking. That's like a Cadillac when you're using Twilio phone numbers. You can record the phone calls. You can hear what your clients are saying or your client's staff is saying. That Analytic Call Tracker is such an awesome consultant tool for your clients, no matter what kind of client they are. If they're AC people, if they're plumbers, if they're attorneys, whatever. Attorneys don't like you when you record a phone call, so it just depends on the attorney. But most of the blue collar workers, blue collar niches, you can tell they might get 100 calls this month. They only answer 20 times. You call up your client and say, dude, you got 100 calls, you only answer 20 of them. You got to start answering your calls, because if you don't answer the phone call, they're going to the next guy in Google. So you can use it that way. You can use the recording of the calls to see how long it takes people to actually answer the phone in their office, and you can also tell them whether or not their staff is making people mad and hang up on them. This is such a great tool that you can offer your clients that no one else is really offering. Or they might be offering the phone calls because they get the recording and they might do the lead business, but they're not using it the right way. That is, you want to help your client build his business. You want to help your client get more business. So in recording the phone calls, you can listen to all that, or you can give, and actually with Analytic Call Tracker, you can give your client a login rights, and they can listen to their own phone calls. So it's a great tool to use. And we're going to show you how to set all that up.
Beautiful.
We've
got a few questions about that. Like, people are asking, well, what about things like CallFire? And another, actually, here's a really good one that I'd like to address. Brett wants to know, what about retention rate? How long do these guys stick around?
You know what? As long as you perform and they're getting calls, they're going to keep paying. That's why if you're not dealing with attorneys and you use Analytic Call Tracker, you can track the calls. And you know what kind of calls they're getting. So there's no way they can call you up and say, I'm not getting any calls, because I get attorneys who tell me that after about 6 months, 8 months. They say they're not getting calls. Really? How do you know? Because a lot of attorneys, they don't want you to use the call tracking, because then you can nail them down and say you're lying. But attorneys, they don't like to lie. They like to negotiate. So but for the most part, the retention as long as you're on the first page of Google and you're performing. I have the one lady. She's been a client of mine for 3 years. I have clients that most of my clients are over a year, except for the new ones.
Well, and we have some. In fact, our very first client that we ever had years and years ago is still with us. And many of the ones that we started with at the very beginning are still with us as well. But we've got one that's been with us for, I bet you it's been 5 years now that we've been doing this, and she's still with us. And then the one that was right behind her, who's been around for about 3 or 4 years, he's still with us. And we've lost a few. We had one that, he had some other marketer come in and tell him how we're just ripping him off and how he'd be much better, and he, oh yeah. So we've had a few of those types of issues, which were very strange. But for the most part, most of the guys we've worked with are still sticking around, unless there was another circumstance. Like one of our lawyers, for instance, he actually got out of that business because he was busy doing other things and just didn't want to do bankruptcies anymore. But for the most part, they've hung around. We've got the same carpet cleaner that we've had for years, same lawyer that we've had for years. So a lot of these guys have been around for a long time.
Right. And like I said, as long as you perform, they're going to hang out. You're going to lose clients. There's just no way around that. Some people are fickle that way. And again, like you said, Ray, you always got them snake oil salesmen that's going to come in and tell them, oh, they're ripping you off. We can do this. You can do. And my whole thing, like when someone called me, like, what are you talking about? You got 40-something keyword phrases, number one in the top 3 of Google. You can do better. Great. Hey man, take the deal, man. That's what I tell them. Take the deal. You want to come back? You know my number. And I have clients that do come back.
Beautiful. Yeah, and we've actually had that as well. We've had a few that have come back after, periods off and whatnot. So it's all about results.
Yes, it is. So and that's what they want.
And just to clarify things, you really can get a ton of results out of this. And don't get me wrong, not everyone is going to be a huge hit, but for instance, we actually when we started, the first lawyer I talked about, the lady that we started with, we were getting for her about 70 phone calls a month off of the videos and whatnot. And that's huge. 70 calls doesn't sound like much, but when you're talking about bankruptcies at, $12 to $2,000 a pop, when you're getting 70 phone calls, that's huge.
Yeah.
And we actually got a phone call because for some reason our number was associated with her law firm. And so I actually got a phone call from One Law, and they were trying to woo her, aka me, away from what we were doing currently to go with them. And I got a chance to ask them questions. Now, One Law is pretty expensive to list with them, and they're very exclusive. And I said, well, what can you expect out of that? And he says, well, our typical clients get between 3 to 5 phone calls a month, for a lot more money than we were charging. And, of course, I just kind of laughed at the guy and said, well, we're currently getting 70 and we're retaining 30. And he's like, what? That can't be true. And it absolutely is true. And the thing that's great about it is, here's a little funny story. She actually almost got into trouble because she was getting so many new clients that she was signing up that she couldn't keep up. And the bar was not super happy with that.
Right.
So be careful with that. Sometimes all the calls can actually be a negative. But the one positive was people used to come into that office and immediately say to her, holy cow, I feel like I already know you, because we actually would shoot her on camera talking about this stuff. And so people would, be very at ease walking through the door, which is why she not only got a lot of calls from the fact that the videos existed, but she got a lot of retention. A lot of people would purchase from her because they felt that they had already known her before they even walked through the door.
Right. Exactly. The videos work. It does. And you know what, Ray, I'm not going to say the niche right now, but I recently had a new client in a new niche, which now I'm going full bore at. The guy, once we hit the first page of Google, after like a week or so, he got 22 calls in 2 days.
Okay, all right. We're getting a message from Jim here. He says, all right, enough talking about what you're going to show us. Show us.
Okay, you know what? Let's do this. We're going to show you how to get your clients on the first page of Google. We show you how to rank the YouTube videos on the first page of Google. We use GSA Search Engine Ranker as our tool of choice. And when you use GSA Search Engine Ranker, it's set and almost forget, because you can kill videos. If you blast too many links at it. I've done it. My beta testers have done it. It's like an art, but we're going to tell you and we're going to show you how to do it. And when you use GSA search engine rank array, it's not if you get on the first page of Google, it's when. So no matter how big the city is, it's when you're going to be there. So you guys want proof? Here's one of my proofs right here. One of my clients, DUI attorney, West Palm Beach. If you see right here, he is the top 2. And depending on the day, sometimes there'll be the YouTube channel will pop in there, and sometimes another video. But these two pretty much stay there the whole time. If you watch the videos, which is another thing that we haven't talked about yet, people will call us up sometimes and say, can you get my web page on the first page of Google? Like, yeah. How long is it going to take? About 4 to 6 weeks. They're like, what? No one can say that. I'm like, well, here's how we do it. We get your video up on the first page of Google, and we put a clickable link to your website, okay, on the video. So therefore, your website is on the first page of Google, and we can put that. We can make your potential client land any page you want. You want them to on your website. So we show you how to do the annotations as well, which you're a big proponent of as well.
Absolutely. That to me is a huge part of all this.
So here's one. Now let me just say this. Some people are going to look at the results for DUI attorney West Palm Beach. West Palm Beach is a very large city. It only shows 272,000 results. You know what? They say, oh, that might be an easy one. Guess what? Not in the attorney niche. In the attorney niche, usually the top 10, if not the top 15, have an SEO agency or an in-house SEO guy working for them.
Absolutely.
So I'm fighting all these other agencies, and we are the top 2. We're number 1 and number 2. Okay.
Beautiful.
We have another one right here. Family Leave Act lawyer, Atlanta. The results is 1.1 million, but again, we're fighting all these other agencies, and we're number 2 for this one. Okay, so we have these guys. We got them up all over the place for different things, but this is a particular keyword I want to do. We're number 2 on this one. And here's one, Ray, that a lot of people don't think of, and you might even do this one, and that is for attorneys. How many Spanish-speaking folks do we have across the United States? Almost in every state now, there's Spanish. Everywhere you call, you got to press 1 to speak English, 2 to speak Spanish, right?
Yep,
well,
absolutely.
I have a client, Abogado Dallas. Okay, he's number 4 yesterday. We've been in the top 1, 2, 3, or 4. It dances around, but Abogado Dallas, this guy pays me on a yearly basis, and we have for all the ones too, other Spanish keywords. But I don't see or even hear a lot of people going for Spanish keywords, and Spanish keywords are easy because no one's attacking it. So nice. I have a lot of Spanish. I have a lot of attorneys where I do the Spanish stuff. It's great.
That's beautiful, and I'd have to look into that. I don't do that here, but I do know a couple of the cities are heavily Spanish speaking, so that'll be interesting to go and check out and see what kind of. Well, obviously you need to find lawyers that actually have Spanish, language skills, but that's a great one.
Almost, you know what? If you look around, like different states, Colorado, New Mexico, Texas, Florida, all the cities like along the coast for some reason. If you look on most of the attorney websites, you always see habla español, and even if you know how to speak Creole, a lot of them have Creole in it as well. So these are different ways to get more clients, to upsell your clients. Let's say you have one and you find out they do speak Spanish. You can do a whole other set of Spanish videos and get another $500-600 a month from them.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I've got a lot of people asking, okay, what is this whole GSA thing here?
Okay, GSA Search Engine Ranker is a tool. It's a tool to help you rank. It's an automated tool that will drop links all over the internet for you. And what you do is you put in your YouTube URLs and your keywords, and it does all the rest for you. The GSA Search Engine Ranker, it costs, with a coupon, it's like $170, $189. I mean, I'm sorry, it's like $89. And then it also has a capture breaker, because some of these places where you gotta create accounts and stuff, it'll have a capture breaker. Well, GSA has its own capture breaker. The capture breaker is like $149 without a coupon. Once you purchase it, we have links to have the coupon to give you a discount. So it's probably about $200, $225 to buy the tools to actually get started using GSA Search Engine Ranker. It's a beautiful tool. Once you start using it, there's a little bit of a learning curve. Of course, we've got videos for that. and we're going to show you how to use it as well. We're going to have extra live trainings for that. Just because people seem to have they get a little surprised when they first see it. But once you use it for a little while, it's like anything. It becomes second nature.
Beautiful. Well, that's good to know. It's exciting because I've got a couple people asking, well, how is this different than other courses on ranking? And I think the big thing here is we're talking a lot about ranking, but this is as much about the strategy as it is the ranking, because we can rank videos all day, but if you don't have anybody to buy them, they're kind of useless, or if you're putting them in the wrong places or things like that. So that's a lot of what this is about, is more about the strategy of how to make money by ranking these videos than just ranking the videos itself.
Absolutely.
So that's the big thing.
Yes, and it to me, it's the main thing. If you don't have clients, you can rank videos till the cows come home. If you don't have any clients, you're wasting your time.
Absolutely. So, okay, great. So let's move on then. I've got people saying, I don't think the slide is changing, but I think that's just because we're yapping.
Right. So let's talk about offline resurrection. What's included? How to get it? There's a bonus as well, and we're going to give away today a do-it-for-you service. Okay. What we're going to do is Ray, if you guys can start typing in your the city and niche you want to attack, or you have clients in, or you want to rank videos in. We'll go ahead and we'll pick a winner for that. And what I'll do is I'm going to give you. You have to provide the video. You have to provide me with the description to your video, and I'll create a custom channel for you, and I will rank I'll rank your videos for your keywords. We're going to announce a winner of that in a little bit once we talk about offline resurrection. So if you can start typing in your niche, like I said, for instance, could be a DUI lawyer, as long as it's not in one of my cities, DUI lawyer, Houston, or AC repair, Los Angeles. No, not Los Angeles. Yeah, Los Angeles. Whatever. Start typing that in so we can pick a winner on that. Okay? Are they doing it, Ray? You seeing any?
Going to pick somebody and actually do this for them. That's awesome.
That's correct. Free of charge, because you stayed on a webinar the whole time and you listened to us talk about how great we can rank video. Offline resurrection, we have 18 detailed videos on the site right now. It comes with an 80-page PDF, and for every video that we show, Ray, we have the ability for you to download it in MP4 or MP3 in case you want to listen to your car when you're going home. We're gonna have. Cool. Yeah, man. Listen, we want to make this professional. We want to make sure that the people who purchase this are successful, just like myself and my beta testers have been. I have beta testers that never did this before, as far as making a full-time living, and now they're making full-time living using the training that I'm showing. So we're also going to have at least 6 live trainings with the course as well. They're going to be like webinars similar to what we're having right now. The topics for live training are going to be how to scale your business, how to get salespeople that work. Like Ray, you're fortunate. You found yourself a cold caller. I have had webinars of 6, 8, 10 people that's supposedly going to be salespeople for me, and none of them worked out. But I figured out a way to scale it and a way to do that, and I'm gonna reveal that in our live training. We're going to show you, as I mentioned before, if you want to use a lead gen business model, how to sell excess inventory and where to sell them to. We're going to have another topic would be detailed setup for all of our tools. We're always finding different ways and making things more efficient. So we're going to make sure that you have the most efficient way. So some people would expect to pay maybe $497 for a course. I've even had some people tell me that I should charge at least $497, sometimes more. But that's not what we're going to do today. Today we're going to charge $197 to start your offline business successfully today. As an added bonus, anyone who purchases our system, we're working on a rank tracker software, and you guys will get that when it's completed. That's a $97 value. And what this rank tracker software does, Ray, is you enter in your keyword phrases, and you enter in your URLs to your YouTube videos, and it goes out and it searches Google and finds the ranking for your YouTube stuff if you're in the top 30.
We like that. There's, it's funny because I've always looked for software like that, and it always seems difficult to find ones that do it well.
Well, yeah, and here's the thing that I found, because attorneys and anybody's really fickle when it comes to reporting. All the software out there is meant for websites. So you got to put in your YouTube URL and all your keywords. So if you got 2 or 3 or 4 YouTube videos, you got to do that 4 times with your keyword phrases. Now you give it to your client, and they got 4 different things they got to look at and they got to try to figure out. It gets confusing for them. With our software, it's going to show when you give your reports, it gives them reports by keyword. So if they see 2, 3, 4 keywords, in a row, they know that they got 2 or 3 or 4 YouTube videos on the first page of Google. It makes you look better.
Nice.
So that's what our software does. So everyone's going to go ahead.
That's great, because one of the questions I get all the time is, how can I create reports for my clients and show them where, and honestly, in the past, a lot of times I've been like, really what I end up doing is I end up just creating a report each month by hand, because there just hasn't been a lot of software that's done it well. I have run into a few more recently, but in the past I've always just had to create a report by myself and just put screenshots and things like that. Right.
Well, we have 3 different ways to export, and that would be like a CSV, a PDF, and then we have HTML. I like do PDF because, if you give someone a CSV, they start messing with it, they screw it up or whatever. I just like to do PDF. This is it. This is what you got. It works really sweet. So, in summary, what you're going to get with Offline Resurrection, you're going to get 18 videos, an 80-page PDF, 6 live trainings, and our video rank tracker software. When it gets completed, it should be completed in about 2 to 4 weeks. But you guys will get access to that. It'll appear on the course or on the home page. So cool. Our sales page is right here at Offline Resurrection. I don't know if you have a chat box you can put that in, Ray.
Yeah, I can. I've also got Webinar Jam as a little pop-up thing there, so they should be seeing an image and an add to cart button there, but I'll also put it in the chat here as well.
Okay.
So that's cool. All right, so let me ask you this. We've got that free giveaway.
Right.
How are we going to decide this?
I'll let you decide. It seems that your webinar. So you go ahead, you're your home team.
All right. Well, let's see. This is going to be tough because everyone's going to be mad at me if I choose somebody. So we got to come up with a good way to do this. I think what we're going to do is let's try this with. I want to find the best question that we've had so far, and I think that if we go down here, or the person who's been asking the best questions, and I think that I've got the person who I really liked the questions from. Now I just got to see if he's got a let's see if he's got a city in here. Okay, so all right, I think okay, here we go. Oh no, I don't see a question. Oh, yes, I do. Okay, here we go. You ready?
Ready.
My choice, and sorry to everybody else, but this guy's asked a lot of questions through here that I've been answering both privately and online here is. And I'm not even sure who it is because I just see a first name. I'm going to go with Scott. Scott has a couple that he's thrown out there, and you guys can work out which one you want to do. But he's got Orlando. Oh, it just popped, of course. There we go. I just lost it. It just moved. Actually, he's got a couple. Best Orlando Italian restaurant, and he's got a couple of Orlando things. So maybe I'll let you guys decide that. But he's also got SEO expert and online marketing. So any of those that you guys think are appropriate, but I think Scott's our winner with that based on the questions that he had. So apologies to everybody else who's probably going to send me nasty grams now. But
hey, Ray, I've also changed the home page now. So if anyone's having difficulty finding the sales page, you can just go to offlineresurrection.com and the sales page will come up.
Beautiful. That's wonderful. And of course, I've actually got a special gift for everybody as well that I'm going to throw out here. Trying to figure out the best way to do that, but what we've got is I've got a free package of offline stuff for everybody that you can all grab. It's got some pre-made videos that you can use and modify so that you can take those and just add your client into the video itself. So let me see. Best way to put that out here. I'm going to see if I can post that in here. There we go. So there it is. So if you click that link that I just threw out there, that will take you to a download page, and we've got a bunch of goodies in there for you. So check that out right away. We've got a lot of, like I said, pre-made videos offline. So there's restaurant videos, real estate videos, things like that you can use to rank for clients, or just a pre-rank if you want. Just send it to a tracking number, and then there's a few other video goodies in there as well. So there we go.
Okay, Ray, if you want to give Scott my email so he can contact me, that'd be good.
I will do that right now. So Scott, here it comes. Just give me 1 second here. All right, so if anyone has any questions, please throw them out there. This is the appropriate time for that, especially as I copy and paste the email here. And we'll try to answer as many questions as we can. Now, one question that I have is when you're using offline resurrection, and what can you explain a little bit more about GSA for everybody, and kind of what the costs are there, and what it actually does?
Sure. The cost for GSA without a coupon is about $249. You're going to want to get some proxies, which I'm going to be providing for clients of offline resurrection. I scrape private public proxies, and they tend to last a long time. I currently have about 2,500. That when you get access, when you set everything up, we'll have an area for you to get the proxies. At least for the time being, we're going to do the public proxies. But if you buy the shared proxies from other areas, it's anywhere between $30 and $100 depending on how many you want to get. But GSA also scrapes public proxies for you, and it does a fine job of it. So it's not really necessary to get the proxies in the beginning. And what you do is you set up the campaigns. There's another expense involved. I use Wicked Article Creator. It's $47 one time. And what you do is you tell it your keyword, like a main keyword. Like, let's say we're doing DUI attorney Fort Lauderdale. I just put DUI attorney in the little text box, and it goes out and it scrapes all these articles. It spins everything. It sets everything up for a GSA campaign. And then what you do, you just import that into your GSA campaign, and you click start, and you're ready, and you're running a campaign. The campaign runs. It shows you how many links it's submitted and how many links it's verified. And everything that you go off of when you do this, it goes off of verified links. And you want to get a certain amount of verified links. And then you want to back off a little bit. But you'll see when you start using this, at first you're going to think it's difficult, but then after you start using this, it's going to be simple. You'll be doing all kinds of campaigns. We have other strategies to help you with your channels so that you can get multiple keywords, multiple videos on the first page, as well as your channel. I have somewhere, I have the channel on there. If you look on my sales page, I have other examples in there, and I did that on purpose because I wanted to show people that, this really does work. So I showed you two in our presentation, and if people do go to the sales page, you'll see, I think, two more case studies. One in particular has the channel on the first page as well as the video.
Sure. And just so everybody understands one thing here, actually I've got a couple questions here. A few people have asked it. Do you show how to use GSA, because they say it's very complex? And
Absolutely, I show how to use it, and we're going to have some live training too, because I know that just because the videos I made to me are easy, I know it really well. So I'm going to have other live trainings for that, because I want to make sure that everyone knows how to use it. Once you know how to use GSA, everything else, as far as ranking the videos, everything else is going to be simple. And then all you have to do is learn the strategies and how to sell. Sure. Selling is a hard, for some people it's really hard, because most of us, we go to school, we get our education and what have you. We're not taught how to sell. So once they teach you guys how to sell, you guys are going to be killing it in the offline, in the offline arena.
And just to throw something out there about GSA. It's a great program. It's going to be helpful. It's not something that you absolutely have to have. You don't need to use GSA to do this. You can still rank videos without it. It's a great tool that's going to make life a lot easier for you.
Well, I tell you what, Ray, we have what's called like the Done For You service that we just gave away.
Yep.
If you're once you sign up, if you're not learning GSA or whatever, you can always sign up for that too, and we can help rank your clients. Now, if you buy the software and you get the Done For You service, what we do in the Done For You service is we're going to help you close your clients. We're going to help you close your first clients if you do this. So if you let's say you start doing an email blast, or if you buy the Done For You service and you don't have an email list, we'll help you get an email list as well, and we'll help you with that. We'll help you sell. If you have someone that responded, you're not sure how to answer it, send us the email. We'll tell you how to answer it. If they want to get on a phone call, we'll get on a three-way with you and help you close your client. It's not a big deal for us. We want to teach you how to be successful and how to sell. And if you buy the done-for-you service, we're going to be there for you.
And just to reiterate, what was the cost of GSA again? A lot of people are popping that up here.
It's $249 without a coupon, but we got coupons. I think it's maybe take off $20 or $40 off of that.
Beautiful. Okay, and that's a one-time fee on that one, correct?
Yes, they're one-time fees.
Beautiful. All right, and we do have a couple questions here.
Sure.
And so let me grab some of those here. Okay, a couple people are asking where they don't have my link to the offline pack. That's because I posted it in the general chat because I left the main one up in there in the sticky notes, but I'll keep posting that in here. Let me post it up here again just so everybody can see that. And let's see, we got a couple questions that were down here. Okay, so this is the one I wanted. When people, what happens when a client just doesn't pay after you've got it up there? Do you just rip the channel down, or what do you do? And I can tell you what I do, but I want to hear what you do.
What I do is of course I want to communicate with them. I don't want to take it down because I work so hard. And you know what? Sometimes people get busy, so I'm pretty lenient on that. And I've gone as far as 30 days before I've done anything. But I'll send them an email, say, hey, what's up? I haven't heard from you. If they don't respond, they don't respond. Finally, probably after about 3 or 4 emails, if I don't get a response, I'll tell them, listen, if I don't hear from you by close of business tomorrow, I'm going to take down your videos. Boy, whenever I do that, probably 90% of the time, that really gets a response. And if it still don't get a response, what I do is I go out and I make the video unlisted. And you make it unlisted, it goes away in Google, but it doesn't go away in the rankings. So what happens when you do it unlisted? If they pay you again, because I've had this happen, where I unlisted it and they got mad, and so they paid me, and so that I relisted it, and it took like a week, and I was back up to where it was.
Beautiful.
And that's what I do.
I'll tell you what I do. I do it a little bit differently. When I build this type of stuff, unless obviously I'm going to break this into two things. There are some clients that we go out and we shoot videos for. We literally shoot that person. But they're typically in a much bigger package than what we're talking about today with just the videos. We're talking, they're doing whole SEO, video, and all sorts of stuff for thousands a month or whatever. But when we're talking about just a video like this, I like to put things where if, lawyer John Smith doesn't pay, well, that tracking number goes to Jim Jones next week. And so now he's getting all those leads. So I build it specifically so that if one person doesn't pay and somebody else wants it, we can just transfer it over and have the calls start going to that guy instead. And believe me, that helps people to decide to stick with you and pay the price very quickly.
Absolutely.
And let's see. How much is the done for you service? That's a question we've got in here.
Well, for medium cities, it's $350 a month, and pretty much almost all of them are medium to small cities, and it's a 3-month commitment. Well, that's all we want. That you're going to pay us for 3 months, and after the 3 months, if you want, by that time, hopefully you already know GSA, and you'll be able to rank everything, and you can just take over from there. We'll build your channel for you if you want, or we can build it together so that you can learn. With done for you service, you get a little more hand holding, you get a little more instruction, more one-on-one coaching, if you will, for the done for you service. For the larger cities, it's $500 a month with a 3-month commitment, and then if you get any national, because sometimes you get national clients, the national clients is $800 a month.
Nice. And then we've got a couple people asking on the offline resurrection. Are there any OTOs on top of that?
The only OTO is the done for you service. That's all we have right now.
Okay. Beautiful. So there we go. All right. Any last second questions? This is it. Joe says hi. This is the last chance here before we let everybody off here, because we actually did pretty good. I know a few people were like, okay, we got to hurry, it's lunchtime, but we did pretty good, only a little over an hour here, so that's actually pretty good compared to we did one last week that I looked up at the clock and we were 3 hours into it. So
wow. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Well, we didn't lose people. People were still there. They were asking questions, so it seemed to go well. All right, so let's see. We got something from Brett here. Let me read it first just to make sure. Okay, how can you do that if the actual client is in the video? He's talking about if we're shooting an actual client, how do you do that? Obviously, you can't resell that. I couldn't re-rent that out. But typically, when I'm talking about just ranking a video and putting it up on page one and leasing it out, those are generic videos. They're not going to have the actual client in it. It's going to be either a spokesperson or an info style video, so it's very easy to transfer. If it's an actual client that we've done, because typically we don't do just one video for a client. It's somebody who's committed and we've gone out and shot 20, 40 videos for. They stop paying, we can just delist the whole channel if we want to. Usually because they've been around for a while and they've paid a lot of money at that point, we give them a lot of leeway to really get back on board. But at some point in time, we'll eventually pull the videos, and we can't relist them for another client because it's got the person in it. But we've also made a lot of money off of that person if we've done that at that point. So it's not really you can't feel too bad about that. So.
Right.
Let's see. Shane says, are you ranking videos on page one to find clients? That's a great question. I actually am doing that, so I'm doing this for myself. If you, with the exception of when the competitors decided to flag my YouTube videos recently, if you do a search like for, I believe it's Utah online marketing, you'll see I've got a video right at the top of page one. People and somebody did go around and flag my videos when I did that. I'm sure it's other marketers, but YouTube put it all back up there again, so we're back on page one.
I had a whole channel flagged that way, Ray.
Yeah, that can happen. Fortunately, I didn't, but definitely got the video pulled for a few days.
Well, here's how crazy that is. I had a whole channel flagged because the competitor was there before. It was a DUI in the DUI arena. And they were dominating. We came in within a month and a half. They were nowhere to be found. We had 2, 3 videos on the top. And next thing you know, we weren't ranking. I logged into the Gmail account. It said, we've been flagged for life and all this stuff. So I used the same Gmail account, made a new channel, and whenever I make my channels, I always create my videos and the descriptions and everything. It's all in the file. So all I did, I just created a new YouTube channel using the same Gmail account. Upload the same exact videos, same exact descriptions. Guess what? We're dominating them again. Took about a month and a half to get back up.
Beautiful. All right, so I got a couple other questions here. Scott wants to know, at the end of a YouTube video, the client asked if there's a way to stop that collage of other videos showing up on YouTube. And there's no way to stop it on YouTube itself, but what you can do is kind of preempt it a little bit, and actually in that package that I gave out earlier, what I've put in there is what I call CTA videos that you can attach to the end of your video. So for instance, if your video is about a lawyer in Orlando, when you reach the end of that lawyer video, you can stick another piece of video on there that says, hey, subscribe to our channel, and just runs for a few seconds. But the idea is, if you take your video and you put something at the end of it, maybe it's contact information, and just let it run for a little bit, 10, 15, 20 seconds, what happens is people will have made their choice by then. Either they're going to call you or they're on to something else. And so hopefully in that 10 to 20 seconds of just seeing your contact info, they'll never see that collage at the end, because they'll be either calling you or gone by that point. So that's what I like to do to stop that. If you paste it on your own website, you can turn that off. You can actually turn off the related videos. It's a piece of code called rel equals 0. And it's actually a button you can press inside the embed area of YouTube. But yeah, that's what I do. Is I just run a little trailer at the end that just runs off for a few seconds to make sure that it doesn't show that, or they're gone by that point. So, Mike, how much is the done for you service again? What was the price on the done for you service again?
The middle point is $350 a month.
$350 a month. Beautiful.
Unless you're doing New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, then it's $500 a month.
Okay, beautiful. And again, that's when you're charging $800, $900 a month to do that in the bigger cities. So
exactly, and we hold your hand the whole time.
Yeah. Don't buy that service and then rent it out for $99 a month. Just throwing that out there. So, all right. Yes. So the related video thing only works on your site. On YouTube, just run a trailer. That'll help. So yeah, Talking Heads, Steve says he just shows himself on there for a few more seconds. That's helpful because, like I said, they're either going to buy at that point or they're going to be gone onto something else, so they won't see that at that point. Let's see. Scott throws out there, the longer these guys pay, the more they want to keep paying. Yeah, and that's absolutely true. What we found is when a client has been with us for a long time and they're seeing results, they're not usually going to go away unless there's some major extenuating circumstance, like they're just going out of business for other reasons. But and Brett wants to know, what did I do when I got flagged? Well, that's a great question, Brett. Actually, there's a way inside YouTube. They give you an option to fight the flag, and you just click on that and give me the information. The way it's supposed to work, if somebody flags your video, a human being at YouTube is supposed to look at the video and go, oh yeah, that should be flagged, or no, it's not. Unfortunately, they say that's what they're supposed to do. They don't. They'll just pull your video a lot of times automatically. So what you then do is then you just send them a request to look at it manually. They'll look at it, and as long as what it was flagged for isn't true, they'll put it back up. They flagged mine for inappropriate content. Well, obviously there was nothing inappropriate about it. So literally the next morning it was back up. So very, very quick. Scott says, do you have videos with a trailer? Yes, Scott, I do. I've probably got a ton of them. I'll just have to think about that, because most of them, if you go to my YouTube channel, Ray the Video Guy, and you start pulling some of the videos, you'll see a lot of them have that trailer type stuff at the end. Sometimes, like with my videos where I'm teaching you, how to create thumbnails, I'll just do blooper reels at the end and let that run. So just things like that. But yeah, if you go to my YouTube channel, some of them won't have it just because they're quick videos made very quickly and just thrown up there. But if you go into some of the more produced videos, you'll see that there'll be a trailer at the end of that. Of course, I don't want to go searching for a link right this second, because that'll kind of distract from things. So, but yeah, if you go there, you can kind of see that. Let's see. Shane, I was referring to specific industries. Example, I'm looking for a Milwaukee realtor. Would you rank a video on page 1 for realtors? Yes and no. I mean, we'd have to obviously look at the search results and some of that kind of stuff to see. But people do search for realtors. They search for houses, but they also search for realtors. Somebody, if they want to sell their house. So I would think that having something up there for a realtor in Milwaukee would make perfect sense. Real estate Milwaukee as well. What's your opinion on that, Joe?
Well, I've actually done real estate ones. What I would do if for someone who's looking to sell their house, we do sell my house fast, sell my house for cash, those kind of keyword phrases. For a realtor, just ranking realtor Milwaukee, you could do that. I don't know how many people search that, but what we found is we'll actually do like development or areas that are popular. Like down here in Florida, we have a lot of condominiums, so we'll rank for those condominium places. Or we have like in Boca Raton, we have like Meisner Park, so we'll rank realtor Meisner Park. Or actually, what I found too, I sometimes invest in real estate as well, is I'll actually do addresses, and I'll put addresses in there and make a video for that address. Because whenever anyone's going, or an investor, when they're looking for houses, the first thing they do is they type in the address to see if it's been listed before, to see if they can get a deal. So maybe they're looking from someone else, so some other realtor, they type in the address, your video's right in the top. Who are they going to call? They're going to call you. So that's what I do for real estate.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, real estate, video and real estate work hand in hand. But what you got to do with that a lot of times is people like to create videos of houses. And that's great, but the big thing is when you're dealing with real estate, and sometimes this can be tough with realtors, which I never understood, because they love to get their face all over everything, except when you've got a video camera. Then all of a sudden they don't want to do it. But the thing with real estate is, only one person can buy a house. So when you do a video of a house, only one person can actually buy that house, which means there's a very limited potential with that video. Now, limited being they buy something worth $400,000, but the point is if you can get that realtor to be on that video and selling themselves, well, then they've got that video now turns into a billboard for them, and they may still sell that house, but how many of those people that don't buy the house can now know who they are and can call them? So you got to really make sure that they know that. That they need to be on those videos, because it's actually more valuable to sell them than it is to try and sell the house with video.
Right. Absolutely right.
And a bunch of people have been asking about a replay for this. The way this works with Webinar Jam is Webinar Jam will automatically make this replay available afterwards. There might be a slight delay as Hangouts processes it, but it'll show up actually on YouTube as a regular Hangout, but also at this link that you came to the webinar itself, it will also turn into the replay afterwards. So you can actually come right back here and get the replay once this is over. Like I said, there's a short delay just to process, but you should be able to jump right back in.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's see. Any last questions here? Getting a few thanks, which is good. Anybody have any last questions about offline resurrection or any other YouTube resurrection, offline keyword finding, whatever it happens to be? And one thing that was mentioned is that keyword research is a part of the whole process, correct?
Yeah, keyword for me, I just find keyword research pretty simple, and that's one of the reasons why I always also recommend you stay in one niche. It's not rocket science. I mean, you can go crazy and you can spend days doing keyword research, but when it's all time at the end of the day, and if you do pay-per-clicks, or if you ever done pay-per-clicks, what I've always found, there's usually between 5 and 15 keyword phrases that get all the clicks, and if you're in that niche, you know what they are. And maybe you add some variations to it. But the keyword research, it's not that big a deal. And you know what? If somebody needs keyword research, I can do it for them. It's not a big deal. It's not rocket science to me. It comes.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with that because, I mean, it is fairly basic when you're talking about local stuff. I mean, the guy is a plumber, and he's in Hoboken, New Jersey. So, I mean, you may want to do a little bit to make sure, because what we've found a lot of times is things that you might not think of right off the top of your head can do very well, like, how to fix a stopped up drain, things like that actually get searches in local areas you can look up. But for the most part, the money is in, Hoboken plumber, Hoboken plumbing, Hoboken, that kind of deal. And so that works very well. Obviously, if you're getting into national type things, a specific diet product, that's when you really want to go crazy and find those niche keywords. But for the local stuff, especially, medium and smaller sized cities, it's very basic. People are going to search very simply, and you're going to rank for more than one thing. Like a lot of times people like to go for best plumber Hoboken. Well, that's fine because you're probably going to get that, and people do search that. But in those smaller cities, you're going to get both. Maybe it'll take a little bit longer, but you're going to get Hoboken plumber as well at some point.
Right.
It might just take a little bit longer. So a lot of times you can go with the slightly longer keyword that has the shorter keyword in it and end up with both.
Right.
Wall has an interesting question. How long has offline resurrection been available?
Well,
technically it's not, correct?
That's correct. This is a pre-launch.
Beautiful. What is the 15th is when it comes out to the general public?
Actually, we pushed it back to the 29th.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you guys will be the first ones in there.
Yes, absolutely. You guys get all the attention, so you need to click that buy button.
So you jump in there now, you'll have all of his attention for at least 2 weeks.
Exactly. And you'll have all my attention afterwards, too. I'm good like that. I like to sleep at night. I want to make sure I'm giving everybody what they pay for.
Beautiful. Well, that's good to know. All right, so let's see. Any last one questions? What if you have a worldwide product? You want to address that? I'm assuming, obviously, offline resurrection is much more for the local business. But what do you have to say about things that aren't local, that are more worldwide?
Well, basically, if they're worldwide, I've had this before from other industries like car transporting companies and whatnot. Once you start ranking stuff on Google in the U.S., it's going to rank across in the whole world. It will rank. Let's see something here. Can you still see my screen?
Yes.
You can. Okay. So
actually, we can only see PowerPoint though. If you want to switch to like live, you have to actually turn it off and then turn it back on and choose that one.
Okay. Let me bring it up, because I've had this question before, and you have to rank. You have to rank. I'm trying to find a Hangout again here. You have to once you rank in Google, you're ranking. You rank on a worldwide basis.
Right.
And well, maybe.
But I think what he's trying to get at is, what if your product is like Garcinia Cambogia weight loss. I think that's what he's trying to get at.
Right, and you know what? Once you're ranking in Google in the U.S., it's gonna Google is gonna sync all the results to worldwide. Like if you go to Google, I'm gonna go on my own machine, right? And if you could type this in, can you take the screen?
Yeah, I should be able to do that. Hopefully.
Okay, hold on a second. Okay, so if you go to google.ae.
.ap?
No, AE as in Apple Edward.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
This is Dubai. This is Google in Dubai. And then type in DUI attorney West Palm Beach.
Hold on, let me pop funny here now that I have it.
Okay.
I'll switch over to me here in a second.
I can't find the Hangout for some reason. Otherwise, I'd do it for you.
Screen share. There we go. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I apologize for. Oh, here it is.
So there we go. All right, we got Dubai. What are we typing in?
Type in DUI attorney West Palm Beach.
There we go. Look at that. It's even an auto suggest.
Right, and scroll down. Look, even the YouTube channels in this one. Okay, so if I'm ranking in Google US for Cambodia, spice help me lose weight thing, and Google US, Google's gonna sync all the other Googles because Google US is supposedly the best results, right? So they're gonna sync it. So once you rank on top of Google for anything, Google's going to sync it to all the other countries and all the other Googles. So really, you're only looking at a national keyword, and all the national keywords, even DUI attorney West Palm Beach is a worldwide term now. So here's a perfect example of how that works.
And Scott brings up here, that when you're talking about things like plumbers, that using emergency is a great one because people have issues at night. Absolutely. 24-hour and emergency are two that I use with plumbers all the time. Just because of that very reason. People are always looking for that kind of stuff. Wall asks, will offline resurrection be updated as YouTube makes changes?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Beautiful. And Scott wants to know where you're located.
I'm located in Fort Lauderdale, actually Plantation, Florida, but it's Fort Lauderdale.
Beautiful. Somebody asked me that earlier. I said, I believe he's in Florida, if I remember correctly, so that's good.
Paradise.
So there we go. So all right. So any last minute questions from everybody before you head off and check that out? Let's see. We got any last minute ones here? We got some people congratulating Scott on winning. So everybody seems to be happy with that. So that's good.
I'm not mad at you. That's good.
That's right. Scott asks, what is the Google URL? I'm not sure what you mean with that. Do you mean the Dubai one, Scott? I'm not sure exactly what you mean with that. If it's the Dubai one, it was google.ae that we searched in. So and to go back, if you've got a product that's a very specifically a national type product, not a local product. GSA will still help you with that. Your normal ranking stuff will help you with that. And once you rank, you rank. So you should do very well with that as well. Obviously we're talking strategies specifically about local businesses today, but any of that stuff will work. So all right, well, it looks like we don't have too many questions coming through. So guys, check that. Brett says he's not happy with Scott winning. There we go. All right. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me or to ask Joe. Joe, how can they find out more directly from you if they've got any questions? Is there a Facebook page or anything like that they can go to?
We don't have the Facebook group ready, but you can go to Offline Resurrection, and or you can email me at support@offlineresurrection. and that's probably the best way right now. You can go to Offline Resurrection on Facebook. I have the name. It's just not finished yet.
Beautiful. And then a couple people have asked, what does GSA stand for? And you know what? I don't even know. I have no idea.
I think it's just, I don't either. They have GSA Search Engine Ranker, GSA Email Spider, which is another tool that we recommend that I use. You use the one from the other product that you bought the other day, Ray?
Well, that one actually was just for searching for attorneys. That's all that does. It's not a ranking product, but.
Right. Well, I'm just talking about like GSA Email Spider is a tool that we use to scrape emails. Beautiful. So GSA's got a bunch of products, is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. All right, so let's see. Anybody else? Last second for questions. And if not, head on over to that link up there and check it out, because this is a good product. I actually got to check this out a couple months ago, which is kind of cool. So great product, great training, and very easy to do this. Like I said, I know some of the people on here probably don't do offline yet, but offline's how I got started, and that's where my bread was buttered for many years, still is. And I love doing it because it actually can be a lot easier than some of the other more online marketing type stuff that we do. So, if you're looking for a way to use video to be able to start making some sales, this is the way to do it. Offline, I mean, you get good at it, people are handing you checks. You don't have to worry about whether it's going to come in. They're willing to just give you a big fat check and you just move on. Like I said, the other day, a lot of luck with this, I guess, but had that one attorney who's actually going to be calling me a little later today as well. He jumped right on. He bought all the videos, and he wants me to come out and shoot more. And all I did was send out an email to about 10 attorneys, and that was done. So it's a great way to do things. So. And let's see, Ken says, let's see, base keyword plumber on any device. Yeah, absolutely. You want to, geo-tracking, geolocation is going to be a big thing in the future. In your YouTube videos, one of the things I always teach is put that name, address, phone number in the description, but also geotag your videos. I don't have any evidence right now that it really makes a big difference to geotag the video, but they've got it there for a reason, and in the future I think it's really going to make a big difference because Google really wants to get into that whole local space deeper, and if you got videos that are geolocated, it's going to make a difference. Even if we're not seeing huge differences right now, that's the way the future is going to go. So get the address in there in the geolocator inside of YouTube as well. All right, well, I think we've hit the end of the questions here. So, guys, I appreciate everybody taking you time on a Friday to come out here, and I hope you all have a great weekend. If you do have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Come into the Facebook group. It's if you're not in there, it's facebook.com/groups/online-video-marketers. You can ask me questions in there. Joe, I'll send you an invite. You can jump in there too.
Actually, I think send me an invite, but I might be in that one. I'm not positive. But okay. if I do join when I get the Facebook group completed, if you mind, I'll put my Facebook group in there.
No, absolutely. Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, great.
And then, Robbins does have a good question here. Do you need a separate phone number for each video? Robin, what I do, and it depends, when you say each video, I'm going to change that a little bit to say for each location. So in other words, maybe for Joe Smith, the Hoboken, New Jersey plumber, you might do 10 videos, so you'd have the same phone number there. But if you then do a video for somebody else in the next city over, you'd do a different number. So like when I did my 10 and I didn't have any buyers, I was just putting them up there to rank, I actually went out and got 10 separate tracking numbers and attached a number to each of those videos. And if somebody buys all those videos, which looks like this guy did, I'll probably actually have all of those. I'll just go in and forward each of those to his phone number, and then if he decides not to pay, I'll forward it to the next person. So,
and the cost for those numbers, Ray, at least in the Twilio, the way I use it, they're $1 a number.
Yeah, that's what I used for that purpose, was just Twilio as well.
Yeah. So it's affordable.
And Scott wants to know what the geotagging of the video is. Scott, when you get into your video, when you upload your video, there's a tab. First of all, you're going to see where you put your title, your tag, and your description inside of YouTube. there's also a button that says Advanced. You click that Advanced button, and there's an option to put in either geo coordinates or just an address. You put that in there, and it'll pull the business up on a map, and so now that location will be attached to that video. So it's very easy to use. Bob says, which track call am I using? I'm, like I said, for that stuff, I'm using Twilio for the ones that I pre-ranked, and then for our business with our clients that we actually go out and get, I actually don't handle it. Will does, and I can't remember which one he uses right now. So I can't say. I can find out. I'm not sure because he handles all of that. I don't even get involved in it. But I know he's not using Twilio. I think I'm not sure if he's using Callfire or one of the other ones. I can find out though. Okay, so yep, geotag on advanced section, absolutely so. Geotagging Milwaukee in the title, yeah, absolutely. Get the city in the title as well, because sometimes even if people search plumber without putting a city, if they're in Milwaukee, it's going to pull up the Milwaukee stuff. Right. Just by automatic, because they know where you're located for the most part. Let's see. So somebody asked, Robin asked, which is better, Twilio or Callfire? I think Callfire has a lot more advanced features, but Twilio is very inexpensive for the type of stuff I'm doing. So it all depends on what you need. Callfire does a lot more advanced, like recording the phone calls, and you can do a lot of the call forwarding stuff where the client will answer the phone and they'll say, this lead is coming from John Smith. So you can do a lot of that kind of stuff if you want to sell leads. But I use Twilio just because it's very cheap, and all I'm doing is forwarding the phone number, so it's very easy to do. But Callfire, I believe, has a lot more features to it than Twilio does.
Right. If you use Analytic Call Tracker, it has all the same features that you just mentioned.
And that might be what Will's using too. I'll have to find out for sure because I'm not even sure on that.
Yeah, and that interface.
I avoid that stuff.
Right. That interfaces with Twilio. So
cool.
You set up your Twilio account, and it does all that stuff for you in Twilio. So you can add a business, you can add a phone number, you can buy phone numbers, and it's set up. And actually, they're coming out with a new version. So for someone who uses a lead business model, you can actually bill your clients right from within inside the software based on real-time stats from the software. I mean, they've gone all out on the software.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. So, and I asked a question. It looks like 73% of you say, "Heck yes, you do offline marketing." So that's cool.
Great. You need
27% said not yet.
You need to use Offline Resurrection to get your videos up there and to get their website on the first page of Google.
All right, yeah, and I'll tell you guys, just to complete my story from earlier, when I used Twilio for that, one of the things that I was able to say when I talked to this attorney is, these numbers are getting phone calls, but they're not going anywhere. So I think that really puts dollar signs in their eyes, because I can look at Twilio and see all these calls that are coming into these phone numbers, but they're not going anywhere. So, Brett wants to know. Brett wants to know how much money you're making doing this.
How much? More than $10,000 a month.
Nice. And somebody asked me that earlier, and it's a little tougher for me to answer that, and the reason for that is a lot of the stuff we do is packaged in with a whole bunch of other things. So in other words, a client might be paying $2,500 a month, but we're also doing their Google map listings as well as the videos, and we're also doing SEO on their site, and we're also doing this or that, but so it's tougher for me to say that for sure, what the video portion of that is. But if you just take every one of the clients is always doing video, so whether that's $500 of it or $400 of it is completely subjective because we're doing lots of different things for them. But
sure. You hit the nail on the head, Ray, earlier when you said offline is the way to go if you want to make money. It's the fastest way to make money, and not only are you gonna make money, you're gonna make a residual income. If you buy this course and you start emailing, what's the date? The 9th. I wouldn't be surprised if one didn't get 2 or 3 clients by the end of the month. It wouldn't be that difficult. You know what I'm saying? It's really, but if you do the offline stuff, now you got to set up a website, you got to set up your video. It could be 2-3 months before you realize any kind of income. So the offline stuff is definitely the way to go. I keep trying to get away from it, but it's just making too much money doing that. It's crazy.
Yes, as a friend of mine said, he says, I I love offline work because it's so much money, but I hate it because it's it's like work. But and I'm pasting the Facebook group in here so everybody can get a link to that if you want to join. Let's see. We got a few other questions in here. How much extra will you need to spend to be successful? Okay, so like Joe wants to know, how much extra do you need to spend on things like GSA in order to be successful doing this kind of stuff? I'll tell you right now. We have in my bigger business we have tools like GSA and all that. With my stuff that I just did where I ranked the videos and then sold it to that lawyer, I didn't spend a penny other than the $1 to set up the phone numbers for each of the videos. So it cost me $10 when I did it, and we ranked in every single city because honestly, I didn't need to use something like GSA to rank in those cities because they weren't, none of them were super difficult to do. If we get into some of the really big cities, that's when I'll start to do some of that stuff that might cost. But I spent $10 on phone numbers. That's about it.
Right.
So I hope that helps you understand that a little bit.
Well, I could twist it. I could twist it another way too, Ray, and that would be I wouldn't worry so much about how much more you got to spend. The thing is, you get clients. If you get one client and you charge them $500 a month, that's more than enough to buy the tools that you need. You get your next client. Now you have way more. If you want to get some extra that maybe you want or you like, you can get that. If you get 3 clients, now if let's just say you're just charging $300 a month, that's $1,200 you just made for this month. You can definitely afford to go once you get the client to get the tools and then start.
Sure.
So
absolutely.
That it's a business. You have to invest in your business. Once you invest in your business, it's going to give you back, 100-fold, if not more.
Beautiful. So, and Robin wants to know if you're just starting out and your funds are limited, which, everybody's are when we get started, what would you recommend be the first thing they do to get started?
I would buy Offline Resurrection. Serious. It shows you how to get your clients, and that's the biggest thing. You have to have clients.
It really is. That to me is by far the toughest part, is getting the actual clients.
Sure. There's hundreds of courses out there how to rank videos, but no one's telling you how to get clients. No one wants to give away their secret of how they get clients. You know what I mean? So I'm here to tell you that the way what we do, it works. We get clients. We have beta testers that never made a full-time income, and now they have a full-time income. I had a guy that told me the other day, oh, he's so happy he don't have to do general contracting anymore because I showed him how to do this, and he emails out stuff all the time. he emails stuff. He gets three or four calls every time he does an email, and he does like 1 or 2 a month. So, I tell you should do it every day. If you do it every day, you're going to get clients, you're going to get clients, you're going to get clients. So.
Yeah, it's like anything, and I say this all the time, is almost anything you hear from people, whether they're teaching you something, works. But the problem is most people don't take the time to actually do it. So yeah, everyone says, oh, that latest WSO, that doesn't work, that doesn't do anything. Well, it probably does if you spent more than 10 minutes doing it.
Right.
And it's the same with anything. Can you be successful day one with this? You could, but more likely it's probably going to take you a few weeks. You got to put some time and effort into it. Now, in my case the other day, literally, I used that software to find people's emails, a bunch of lawyers' emails. I sent out one email and sold them all that afternoon. I was blown away by that. I doubt that's typical, but that was fantastic. I was excited. I was like, wow. So you can darn well bet I'm going to be doing a lot more of that type of stuff now, right. Which, I kind of did here and there. Oh, yeah, I got some time, I'll do that. But, I'm definitely going to start doing that a lot more aggressively at this point because of that. So just to throw that out there.
Yeah.
And Joe asks if GSA is a single payment. Yes, it is. That's not a monthly on that.
Yeah.
And Terry wants to know if you could use Google phone numbers for this. You probably could to an extent. You definitely can use that to forward to somebody. I don't know how good their tracking is and stuff like that to count calls and all that, because I don't really use it that much. But you definitely could use it to forward the numbers. So. Brett wants to know what software it is I'm talking about that pulled up the leads. Actually, it's a software called Lead Finder, which was an upsell on Video Maker FX, which was that big video making software over the last week that people have gone crazy over. In the back end of that, he teaches you how to use that to find the people that need your services, and so that's where we got that from. So basically, it just gets you phone numbers of people in your niche, and so that's what we used for that. So that's where that came from. So let's see. So does Offline Resurrection tell you how to get the clients? Yep, absolutely. That's pretty much, I would say 50% of what it's about, really.
Yeah, how to get clients and how to sell and how to, the whole business part of it. Yes.
Beautiful. And just to reiterate, Brett, I don't really have a link directly to that software because I don't even think he sells it by itself. So right now I think it's just part of that package. So, all right, well, I don't see any new questions popping up in here, so maybe we've hit the end of our question and answer session here. So, again, if anyone does have any questions, please feel free to hit the Facebook group. I'll be glad to answer them. And of course, the email for Joe was support@offlineresurrection.com, so you can ask questions there as well. And hopefully everybody has a great weekend other than that, and start making some videos. Be sure to grab that freebie.
Yes. Thanks a lot, Ray.
All right. Thanks, Joe. We appreciate you coming on here. And, folks, just, again, a little bit of housekeeping. I'm going to be sending out an email this weekend. We've actually got a webinar on Monday as well, and I'll be sending more. As the webinar we were supposed to have last Monday that got postponed, which is going to be talking about using Google Hangouts. And of course, after some of the issues we've had with Hangouts today with some people, maybe that's not the greatest thing in the world. But no, Hangouts are fantastic. They're ridiculous. We love them, and we're going to have a great webinar on Hangouts on Monday. So look forward to that. And if you, again, feel free to ask any questions in the group. One more question popped up here. How much do you charge the client for spokesperson style videos? You know what? To me, that just depends on the cost to make it. If it's going to cost you $500 to get a spokesperson, and you need to get into a studio, you're just going to have to charge accordingly. But, honestly, there are some things out there that are generic spokesperson videos, and you can use software like that, and you can do well with that as well. So basically, honestly, when it comes to making video, you got to charge what you feel comfortable charging, and just make sure it's more than what it costs you.
You want me to show an example of that of the ones that I use for $147 that I charge my clients?
Yeah, absolutely. If you could drop that in here, that would be great. People would love that.
If you go to Google, type in CNC prototyping.
CNC prototyping.
Like Charlie, Nancy, Charlie, and then prototyping. It's number 4 right now. It's a national video. It's number 4, and that's the one. That's the video that I give the source to for $147.
Gotcha.
And it looks like a commercial.
Beautiful. Let's see if we. It'll probably kill us to play it on here, but I'll pull it up anyway.
Hey, I'd like to put out there if you want, Ray, if you guys want to do a follow-up Q&A, if that's viable, that's great. I'm available. Let me know. If not, that's fine too.
Beautiful. And you can see here, yeah, I recognize this guy from other things actually.
Yeah. He's
so
good.
That's
man.
good.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Anything else we've got here? It looks like that's pretty much it. So I think we'll call it a day then.
All right, sounds good, Ray.
All right, well, thank you again, Joe. And again, guys, feel free. I'll be around most of the day to answer any questions. I do have to head over to the local school to do some junior achievement stuff. But other than that, I should be around most of the day. Scott wants to know what time the webinar is on Monday. Same time as this one. I believe it's going to be the 11 o'clock Eastern. And I'll get the definite details because I haven't gotten the full confirmation that that's it, but I believe it's 11 o'clock Eastern on Monday, just like it was supposed to be last weekend, or last Monday. So, all right, well, thanks, guys, and we'll see you on the interwebs, and hopefully we'll see you on Monday. Thanks again,
Great.
Joe.
All right, man. Have a great weekend.